Let's get creative.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Get Creative. This week, I'm going to show you just how AI and I created this card. All you'll need is a little curiosity, a Cricut, some cardstock, and a willing AI assistant. So let's get into it. All right, so when I started this, I wasn't even sure if this was possible yet. So my very first prompt into Gemini for this was, are you able to create SVG files for use at a Cricut? And it came back and said, yes, I can. Well, so I took that gumption. I made a little bit more detailed prompt after that. So you can see it was trying to give me an example here. And then here's my first full prompt that I wanted, where I said, I would like to make a 4x6 card that is cut out of white cardstock that is scored for a horizontal fold. I'd like a blue background cut out that is a 1/4 inch smaller on all sides than the 4x6. Then I would a paper castle that should be based on a white background with the castle elements added on top of the gray paper, allowing the white background to outline the individual pieces of the castle, and its white background should fit within the blue background space. We will also need some white clouds that can be added to the blue background. Please group these as needed and provide a preview if possible. And when I fired that prompt in, before I did that, I turned down here in agents, and I had turned on canvas right there. And then it started after that, and it created this React web app for it. And we started and went through several iterations before we finally went through to this final stage here. And you can see that on this app that it created, it gives me the option to export each group that I need to import into the Cricut software. So you can see here, even it shows it as the asset mats, and it shows you all of your different pieces that you're going to have. So I did just that. I exported it over into my Cricut software. And I'll show you that here in just a second. All right, so you can see here in the Cricut software, after I got those SVG files loaded up, we have those several different assets in there all loaded in. And if you go into the make menu, it does your different mats that you need. There is some adjustments that you have to do kind of after the fact. The other thing is that I'm running a Cricut Joy Extra. So I didn't have the embossing tool that it calls for, but you can always get by with running the foil tool instead, and that's a pretty good makeshift option for kind of embossing on the Joy Extras. So I ran those in there. I adjusted those score lines that I wanted to be foils, and so you can see here, after I'd adjusted some sizing and stuff, I would still, if I was going to make a new one, I'd have to move some of my items around on mats and everything like that to make sure that they're in the right place, just because that seems to be how the Cricut software always kind of moves things around to the mats that it thinks it needs to, although it doesn't always seem like it's quite right. But it was very successful, and I did and was able to create a card from this. So I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised. If I was going to do it again, I would make some adjustments to this file. Here's a close-up of that card. You can see what I was kind of talking about. If I was going to do this again, I'd make some additional adjustments in the Cricut software as I'm working with it. Most notably, I'd make the clouds a little bit larger. I don't think they turned out too bad, though. For a project that took just over an hour to complete start to finish, I don't think this was too bad. It was really fun to see this come to fruition and get completely created. You'll have to kind of excuse my glue up job there. But it did turn out well. Just some of the pieces were kind of tough to glue on there because they were so small. So if I was going to do this again, I'd adjust the size of those clouds and then probably these window pieces and this door piece just to be a little bit more pronounced. And then maybe the one turret roof. But I think all in all, it did a really good job of the whole project. And so it's definitely something that I'm going to look forward to trying out again soon when I need to do a card for someone in the future. All right, and really quick before we go, I just wanted to show this to y'all. I happened to ask the AI what would be a really good prompt to be able to structure this. So for us to get a high quality feedback, the AI needs to know physical framework, layering logic, machine operations, the cuts that it needs, the score lines, things like that. Style and aesthetics, so you can give it some instructions to kind of get a specific vibe that you're looking for. Technical guardrails, so that way you get clean data out, your paths are grouped, and if you happen to want like any kind of mathematical symmetry or anything like that. If you would like a copy of this, just shoot me a note, and I'll try and get that posted out there for you. All righty. Until next time, this has been Let's Get Creative. Until next time, this has been Let's Get Creative. So we'll see you later.